Your Stripe API bill just jumped from $200 to $600 a month, no code changes. Next.js 16 silently switched fetch from caching to no store, so every page load hits your origin server. The article correctly states that fetch defaults to no store in Next.js 15 and 16. However, note that this change was introduced in Next.js 15.0.0 and remains in 16. If you are upgrading from Next.js 14 or earlier, every fetch call without an explicit cache directive will now make a fresh request. There is no deprecation warning. Your API costs will silently increase. The article mentions using React Cache as a shared cache layer but does not show code. Here is how to use React Cache to deduplicate requests across multiple components in the same render pass, reducing redundant API calls even when fetch defaults to no store. The article notes that ISR revalidation is ineffective without explicit fetch caching. In production, if you use ISR with fetch that defaults to no store, the page will revalidate on schedule, but the fetch inside will still hit the origin every time. This means ISR does not reduce API load, it only refreshes the page HTML. Always pair ISR with Next. Revalidate or cache. Force cache on your fetch calls to actually cache data. Let's break down 10 common Next.js 16 app router mistakes and how to fix them, how it works, and the exact mistake behind that failure. Fetch caching determines whether a response is reused across renders. In Next.js 13 and 14, fetch cached by default with a 30-second stale while revalidate. In Next.js 15 and 16, that default changed to no store, meaning every call makes a fresh HTTP request. This was a deliberate shift to align with web platform defaults, but it caught many teams off guard. The most impactful mistake is assuming fetch still caches by default. Without a cache directive, every render, including ISR revalidations, makes a fresh request. This multiplies your API calls by the number of renders, silently tripling costs. Here's the wrong way: a fetch call with no cache directive. In Next.js 16, this defaults to no store, so every render hits the API. The fix is to add an explicit cache directive. Use force cache for static data or Next. Revalidate for time-based revalidation. This restores the old caching behavior and prevents redundant API calls. Server components render on the server and pass props to client components via JSON. Only serializable types survive: strings, numbers, plain objects, arrays. Functions, class instances, maps, and dates lose their prototype methods or become empty objects. Here, a function is passed from a server component to a client component. This throws an error because functions are not serializable. The fix is to use a server action instead. The correct approach: define a server action with useServer, then import and call it from the client component. Server actions are serializable references that can be passed across the boundary. Server actions must be explicitly marked with useServer. The directive must be the first statement, comments are allowed before it. If misplaced, the function runs on the client, causing database calls to fail. Here, a comment appears before useServer, so the directive is ignored. The function runs on the client and database calls fail. The fix is to place useServer as the very first line. With useServer as the first statement, the function runs on the server and can access the database. Comments are allowed before the directive, but not after imports. A common migration mistake: importing useRouter from NextRouter in an app router project. The Pages router and app router have different routing APIs. App router's useRouter has no query, as path, or is ready. Importing from NextRouter in an app router component throws an error or returns undefined methods. The correct import is from Next Navigation. Use Next Navigation in app router. For query params, use useSearch params. For root params, use useParams, or await the page props. Layouts in app router stay mounted across navigations. A useEffect with an empty dependency array fires only on the initial mount. This breaks patterns like page view tracking that should fire on every navigation. This layout tracks page views only on the first load. When the user navigates to another dashboard page, the layout stays mounted and the effect does not rerun. The fix is to add Pathname as a dependency. By adding Pathname as a dependency, the effect runs on every navigation. This ensures page views are tracked correctly. Alternatively, move the effect to a page component, which remounts on navigation. Server components render on the server, where browser APIs like Window and Document are not available. Accessing them throws a reference error. Even libraries that access Window during import will fail. Directly accessing Window in a server component throws Window is not defined. The fix is to move browser-dependent code to a client component. Move the browser API access to a client component. Use useEffect to safely access Window after the component mounts. The server component can then import and render the client component. The next image component requires either explicit width and height for fixed-size images or the fill prop for responsive ones. Without these, the image renders with 0 dimensions. External images also need domain configuration in Next.js. This image has no width, height, or fill prop, so it renders with 0 dimensions invisible. The fix is to provide width and height for fixed sizes or use fill with a position parent. For responsive images, use the fill prop and ensure the parent has position, relative. This makes the image fill the parent container. Also configure remote patterns in Next.js for external images. Without a matcher, middleware runs on every request, including static assets like JavaScript bundles and images. Each asset adds 5-50 ms of middleware overhead. A page with 20 assets can add 100 ms to 1 second of latency. This middleware has no matcher, so it runs on all requests, including static assets. The fix is to add a matcher that excludes NextStatic, NextImage, favicon, ICO, and common file extensions. This matcher excludes API roots, static files, image optimization, favicon, and image file extensions. Middleware now runs only on actual page requests, reducing invocations by 95% or more. Without suspense boundaries, the entire page blocks on the slowest data fetch. The user sees nothing until all fetches complete. With multiple suspense boundaries, each section loads independently, showing content progressively. All 3 fetches must complete before any content renders. The user waits 1.5 seconds for the slowest fetch. The fix is to wrap each section in a suspense boundary. Each section now loads independently. Stats appear at 200 ms, activity at 500 ms, and notifications at 1500 ms. The user sees content progressively instead of a blank page. In Next.js 15 and 16, params and search params are promises. The old synchronous destructuring no longer works, you must await them first. This is the most common upgrade gotcha from Next.js 14. Synchronously accessing params, ID returns undefined because params is a promise. The fix is to make the component async and await params. By marking the component async and awaiting params, you get the actual id value. The same applies to search params and in layout components. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. The team migrated to Next.js 16 without auditing their fetch calls. Every fetch defaulted to no store, so each page render triggered a fresh Stripe API call. With 1,000 daily users and 10 API calls per page, that's 10,000 extra requests per day, tripling their API costs. Next.js 16 changed fetch default from force-cache to no store, causing every request to hit the origin server and triple API costs. The fix is to add an explicit cache directive to every fetch call. For the Stripe product data, they used Next. Revalidate 3600 to cache for an hour. This reduced API calls from 10,000 per day back to 24 per day, 1 per revalidation interval. Costs dropped from $600 back to $200. This is the exact mistake that caused the $600 Stripe bill. The fetch call has no cache directive, so it defaults to no store. Every page render triggers a fresh API request, multiplying costs by traffic. This is the exact line that caused the Stripe bill spike. Without a cache directive, fetch defaults to no store. Every render makes a fresh API call. Always add an explicit cache strategy. A subtler case, passing a date object. After JSON serialization, the date loses its prototype methods. On the client, date-to-locale date string may throw or behave unexpectedly. The fix is to pass the ISO string and reconstruct on the client. To debug caching issues, audit every fetch call in your project. Check if any are missing cache directives. Monitor your API dashboard for request spikes. You can also add logging to trace which fetches are using no store. Let's run through some common interview questions. What is the default fetch? Cache behavior in Next.js 16? No store, no caching. How do you opt into caching? Use cache, force cache, or next. Revalidate N. What is the difference between params and Next.js 14 versus 16? Params is now a promise, must be awaited. And a few frequently asked questions. Why did my API costs increase after upgrading to Next.js 16? Fetch. Default changed to no store, causing more requests. How do I fix fetch caching in Next.js 16? Add explicit cache directive, cache, force cache, or next. Revalidate, can I use the old caching behavior? Yes, by setting cache, force cache on each fetch call. Let's recap the key takeaways. Fetch. Defaults to no store in Next.js 15:16. Always add explicit cache directive. Props must be JSON serializable across boundary. Use useServer for server actions. Ready to go deeper? Up next, Supabase auth with Next.js 16, then TRPC v11 plus Next.js 16, complete setup and best practices, then how to build an AI agent with Next.js, LangChain and Supabase, and Next.js 16 caching strategies explained, the 2026 guide. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.